left when the lights go out. I'm down to.
There we go. What is going on, everybody? So, today I want to talk about something. It involves something that happened to me in the past, actually. So, about a year ago or so, give or take. The reason why I've always said if you're going to do something stupid, don't post it on the internet. So, about a year ago or so, I was riding down actually this exact road. It was farther up here. I'll show you. It was farther up here. So, I was riding down this exact road, and I was going at a high rate of speed. I was going around 140-ish. I was going around 140. Look at the popo. There they are. But I was going about 140. And I got clocked by a cop. I didn't actually know he was there. But he had, obviously he pulled me over, because by the time I realized that I was getting pulled over, there was about 6 of them. Well, 3, 6, 7, there was 8 of them. So, what had happened was, if we can ever get up here, because all these slow-ass cars, traffic's really bad today. That's a bolt. That's not good. But, so what had happened was, 3 cops had come from where we're coming from right now. By the time I realized I was getting pulled over, 3 cops was coming from this way. But, so 3 cops came from this way, in which we're traveling right now. 3 more cops came from this hillside right here. This hill right here. 3 of them came from there. 2 of them came from back here. So there was 8 cops in total. I got pulled over right there in that drive, or in that road right there. But so I was cruising. I was going about, in total, I think I ended up hitting like around 140, 150.
Last one left when the lights go out. I'm down to one last breath, but I can't stop now. We all fall down sometimes, yeah, but
somewhere in that range on my ZX6. And so I mean, I was going quick, I understand. But so I got pulled over right there. And getting pulled over ain't really what I wanted to talk about, because the cop who pulled me over, the actual original cop who pulled me over, who clocked me and everything, he was an alright guy. I mean, he was like, you know, he was gonna give me a big ass ticket, all that fun stuff. And I was like, okay, you know, I understand. The other cop who pulled up, who actually came from this way along with him, the only 2 that came from this direction, mind you, nobody was on the road with me. There was nobody else there. It was just me by myself. But the other cop who came up with him was trying to tack on like reckless endangerment, wanted endangerment. There's like 8 or 9 different charges he was trying to tag on. That cop thankfully was like, no dude, he was by himself, just he needs a big ass ticket, but you know, whatever. Ended up getting reckless. Well, that's not even really the bad part about the whole story. What happened is after I got pulled over, they took me to jail, they impounded the bike, all that, you know, jizzy jazz. I hate new concrete. But so after they pulled me over, took my bike, took me to jail, I ended up getting out that night because I was a low fright risk. I haven't been to jail before, so it's whatever. But we're actually gonna go back that way because I don't want to go that direction. But so I ended up going to jail, got arrested, took me to the jail. I think he said he clocked me at 136 is what he got my total speed at. That's a curb. But that's what he got my total speed at, which, you know, it's whatever. By the time I realized what had happened, I was like, they were already too many around me to be able to just take off, so to me it wasn't worth it. But got clocked, got pulled over, was sitting there, you know, they took my keys, put me in the back of the car, told me what was going on. They were like, hey, you're going to jail. All that was fine. Like I said, got out that night, all cool, whatever, life goes on. Well, had to go to court. And I guess, from what I was told, I don't know if it's entirely true, is that they were trying to pass a super speeder law in Kentucky to, I think it like makes it like a felony charge or whatever, but they were trying to do that. But so they were trying to pass that super speeder law, so I'm told. And I ended up going to court over the span of 4 months. I went to court 4 separate times. Mind you, they didn't take my license, didn't do nothing to me at this point. I was fine. Didn't give me a fine, nothing. So for 4 months I went through, had to go to court like every other month or every month, whatever. Okay, fine. Finally on the 4th month, they ended up, I think they took my license for 6 months, which sucked, but in hindsight, they took it over the winter time, so it wasn't as bad, because like out of the 6 months I would have only been able to ride about 2 of it anyways, so it wasn't really all that bad. So they took my license, you know, started going to court, done all that, finally ended up taking my license after the 5th time, I think, and I only got like a $400 fine for it, so it wasn't really all bad in the sense of what happened. Now I got a reckless driving ticket, or no, I'm sorry, had a reckless prior to that, and that's why they took my license. They wanted to take my license for a year and then only ended up taking it for 6 months, thankfully. Like I said, luckily mine was over the winter time. But the whole point of this story is I just kind of want to explain, going fast is fun, and like I've said, I don't do it on a camera because I talk and ride, and I'm not gonna go 136 on a camera just because I don't want somebody to see it and me get arrested or in trouble for it. Because cops are getting crazy now, and they can figure it out and fucking like track you down based on where you ride or how you ride and stuff like that. But like, yeah, so I don't do it on camera. Like, I mean, I just kind of ride a little bit. So there's that. But in terms of like just the whole like story of what happened, like I said, got arrested, went to jail, went to court like 4 separate times. I think the judge was trying to get it to where where I would get hit with that super speeder if they were trying to pass. That's just all I've heard. I keep hearing people say about it, but they didn't end up passing, thankfully. So now that it didn't pass, you know, as soon as it didn't pass, I had court like 2 days after it, and then they were like, okay, yeah, $400 fine, 6 months license restriction. Okay, cool, that's fine, whatever. So I went through all that, finally got my license back. Ended up, I think I got them back in January or February, something like that. I thought 6 months was going to be March, but it was only like 5 months and 7 odd days. So it wasn't quite 6 months. But, you know, states don't recognize a month as like an actual 30-day month. They don't count weekends. But, so after all this, you know, went through all of it, got it all done. For like the first probably 2 or 3 weeks, every time I rode down this road, there was like cops sitting. I mean, there was probably one every like 400 or 500 yards. I mean, you'd catch them like at a gas station, or you'd catch them here, you'd catch them there. And they were just going on and on and on. Like, I've had a couple of them follow me because I had the same bike at the time. It wasn't painted different, it wasn't anything. It was the exact same bike. And I had a couple of them follow me a few times and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, it was a crazy time whenever it all happened. Because like 136 speeding ticket is one hell of a fucking speeding ticket. But it's just kind of, I don't know, it kind of baffled me that they were trying to, I felt like that they were trying to get me into something more. Because like I said, that one cop, he was trying to get me into a whole bunch of different shit that I didn't even do. I mean, one endangerment, all that stuff, yeah, fine. But like, nobody else was on the road. Now, if I was lane splitting at 140, you know, cutting up traffic, putting actual people at risk, yeah, sure, I understand that. But like, I wasn't. Like, there was nobody else there. I'm not confident enough to lane split at 150 mile an hour. That's just not me. But some people are. And there's nothing wrong with that if you know how to do it. Don't just go out and do it, but, you know, whatever. There's some people out there who do. And I'm not gonna hate on nobody for doing it. Like, Ride your bike the way you want to ride your bike. If you want to cruise 150 down city streets, go for it. But yeah, that's just all I wanted to talk about, is a little bit about how I got arrested and some shit that happened, because it did kind of suck.
I'll be when the lights go out. I'm down to one last breath, but I can't stop now. We all fall down sometimes, yeah, but